So, tell me about the work you do with WASPI.
Well, we're campaigning for awareness so that people understand that our pension age has been changed from 60 to 66 in most cases, with no written notice, so we didn't know about it. We're campaigning for fair transitional payments from the government, just to tide us over until we're 66.
And in particular because there were 3 changes to the legislation and we weren't informed at each stage, so a lot of women were just completely unaware and had their income taken away from them at age 60 without knowing.
So what's the impact on women in particular?
Well, it's pushing a lot of us into poverty. I mean, because I thought I was going to get my pension earlier, I left work to look after my disabled mother. So I looked after her for 4.5 years. She's now died. I'm 62 and I can't get a job. So I've got no income.
And in 2010, I was in a job but found a job that I wanted that was 3 years, which was going to finish 3 weeks after my 60th birthday. In 2010, I still was online to get my pension at age 60. I had been told I would. They changed the legislation in 2011, a year after I'd started my 3-year contract. So I ended up 2 years later. That's all the notice I got, with no job, no pension, completely in dire straits, despite having been a professional and done everything responsibly all my life, just left with so little notice. It was just awful.
So when was the campaign launched?
It was launched
2 years ago?
I would say 2 or 3 years ago.
So how has the response been when you raise these issues with people?
But very positive. We've got lots of support. So that's why we're here today to try and raise awareness, because unbelievable as it sounds, there are still some women out there that have got no idea they can't retire at 60.
But we're also really interested in not just getting at women our age, and that's why we've come here, because we thought there'd be mostly young people. So we love the fact that we were so welcomed by young people who are showing interest in our campaign. So we're here specifically for that reason, to try and get you to understand what's happening and joining, because it's your future as well. It's your mothers, your aunts, your grandmothers, as well as the fact it's your future. Because if they do that to us and they see us as a soft target, they're going to really get at young folk.
So are you aiming just to raise awareness so that people put measures in place, or are you looking for a change in legislation?
Well, we're not looking for a change in legislation as far as the equality of men and women go, because we agree that it should be equalised. It was the way this was implemented, the little notice and the steep rise in our retirement age.
So would you like to see the retirement age lowered, or do you think 66 is about right?
Well, we think in this country we're going in the wrong direction, because a lot of other countries, their retirement age is coming down, ours is going up, and it will continue to rise.
But while we feel that, that's what this campaign isn't about that. It's specifically about the inequalities caused for those of us who were not given enough notice. So while we'd like the pension age to be lowered, we know there's all sorts of reasons why it might not happen, and that's not what this campaign is about, even though that's what we'd like. The realistic thing that we're campaigning for is just something to get rid of the inequalities caused for those of us who weren't given enough information.
And so how are you going about that? What sort of mechanisms are being used to support women who find themselves left in the lurch?
Well, we've had a petition. We've got a legal team in Bindmans of London who are advising us. So we have been sending letters to the DWP, letters of complaint, which culminates in, because we haven't had any positive feedback from them, we're then going to ICE, the independent case examiner. So we're going to see what answers we get from that.
And because it's particularly the government who've brought this in, so we're asking people who are potential candidates standing in the general election, that's ones who used to be MPs and ones who are just potential candidates, to sign a pledge to say they will support us and do what they can when they get into Parliament.
So basically we're asking for transitional payments just to see us over until our new state pension age.
And what do you see as the role of organisations like this in campaigns like this?
Supporting us. because we're in the middle of it. We're the ones suffering, but then there's all sorts of things that everybody is finding difficult. And if you work together, you've got far more chance. And as I said, I think one of the big things is we're seen as a soft target. Old women aren't going to complain. We're just old pensioners, aren't we? We're not going to stand out and complain. But if they get soft targets like us, they're just going to get worse, and it's going to get worse and worse. But specifically, it's so unfair what they've done to us, and so we're just looking for people to help us ask that the unfairness is recognised and we get some compensation.